G'day guys, it's Mark here from North Oz, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Rhino Rack Pioneer platform. And I've had it for around 10,000 kilometers and around 7 to 8 months, for basically as long as I've had this car for. So we're going to talk about how it's performed for me and how you can expect it to perform if you're interested in this product or you've had it before. I'm going to show you how I've loaded it out as well, so you can see what sort of weight I've been running on it. And yeah, it's going to be a good video today, guys. This platform has gotten quite a bit of bad press in the past, so maybe we can discuss that a little bit as well. So it's going to be a good one, so make sure you stick around and we'll roll the intro and get into it. So the first thing that we'll talk about is why I ended up purchasing this platform. The first reason why, guys, is it was so accessible. So Autobarn had it on special, they had it in stock, so I just went down and picked it up that day, and I already started installing it that day. I had a few little issues, it was a little bit fiddly, but I ended up getting it done. And the reason why I did it myself was because I took my vehicle to an outfitter's store, so a four-wheel drive outfitting store, and they were going to charge me about $500 to install it, which I thought was ridiculous. So I brought it home, ended up buying it through Autobarn, brought the rack home, got my brother to give me a hand install it because it's very awkward to lift by myself, of course. So yeah, so I ended up getting this and installing it myself, and it wasn't too difficult to do. So that's the reason why I bought it. And I knew that by purchasing it through a store near where I live, if I had any issues with it, like some people have been having, I know that I could take it back to the store and they'd be able to fix it for me. Another reason why I bought this is I knew there was a lot of support for the Rhino Rack products near where I live. So I knew I'd be able to get lots of different brackets and things like that for the platform because it is a very popular platform. And I wasn't wrong, because I ended up being able to find lots of things like camping light brackets, max tracks brackets, and just the Batwing awning mounts. I've been able to modify and use them for my two awnings that I have on this vehicle. So it has actually done quite well in terms of being very flexible and for my needs, and having a lot of different accessories that I've used a lot. So let's talk a little bit about what I've got on the platform, and then we'll talk about my experiences with it. So starting at the front, I've got a light bar and I've got a bracket to suit specific for this platform. So I've got the light bar at the front. Moving towards the back and towards the middle section, I've got my solar panel, which I made some custom mounts myself with just some L brackets, which was really, really easy to do in the end. And I also have some K-on mounts and brackets for these max tracks. I've got 4 max tracks up here. And I've also got a tie-down kit that you can buy from Rhino Rack, and I use that for my swag and tying down my swag. Moving around the vehicle towards the back, I've got some Batwing awning mounts as well, and I've ended up putting a Dome 1300 awning on the back, and I've also got a 23-0 shower awning tent, which again uses the same brackets that I ended up modifying for from Rhino Rack as well. Expensive brackets, but they do make the whole kind of awning sit a little bit lower, so that has been really, really good, and it gives it a nice clean low look, because I don't want anything sticking out and then causes problems with aerodynamics. One more thing that's not really on the platform, but it is to do with it, I suppose, are these camping lights here that I've got in these little circles there. It's just like a little circle mount that kind of sandwiches together on each side of these little circles, and it allows me to have 4 camping lights around the vehicle. So that's kind of the basic fit out that I've got at the moment. So let's talk a little bit about my experiences with this off-road and on the road as well. So a lot of people don't really understand the fact that this has a weight limit. Now, for your vehicle and your needs, you can look up what the off-road limit and what the off-road capacity is for yours. Mine, from memory, is somewhere around 60 kilos, and I haven't come close to that yet. So I could probably still fit a 270-degree awning on here as well, and I won't even be close to that 60 kilo mark. Where I think people are getting unstuck is putting really heavy things on there, like jerry cans, and filling them up as well. You won't be able to do that with this rack, and you might have to look for another rack, like maybe Front Runner, that has a slightly higher load capacity. So once you understand that you can't really overload this platform, then I think you're not going to set yourself up for disappointment with this rack. Now, Rhino Rack do have an online calculator that you can use specific for your vehicle and the product that you've purchased, so make sure you look at that as well. Let's talk now about my experiences with the platform and have I had any issues with it. So for me personally, I have not had any issues with this platform at all, and I actually can't say enough good things about this platform. It's actually been really good for me. I've gone out, because like I said, there's a lot of products available for it, even locally for me. I can just go out and buy, and I enjoy just shopping around and seeing what other things that I can put on this platform to make it more suitable to my needs. So it's been great so far. Going off-road, I was a little bit worried once I loaded it up with my awning and I had my solar panel and everything on there. I was a little bit worried because I was going down corrugations and a lot of different things. I was like, you know, I had a bit of doubt in my mind, I'll be honest, because of all these reports that people are saying that, you know, it's falling off their roofs, and I didn't want to damage my brand new car. It's been fine. I've done about 10,000 Ks on and off the road, corrugations, you know, sand driving, you know, some pretty dodgy angles for a stock vehicle. And it's been fine so far, guys. I haven't had any issues with it at all. And I installed it myself, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. Maybe taking it to someone who knows what they're doing and installing it well might play a part in how, I guess, secure and how well this thing holds up. Maybe just going that extra mile when needed is going to be important for the longevity and also for the reliability of using this rack. So for me, guys, this has actually been a really good system for me. And I get a lot of compliments on it as well, because it kind of looks really good, looks really tough. And I ended up basing my entire four-wheel driving camping setup around this rack. And it might sound a little bit silly, because for some people they'll be like, oh, why would you think that way? You know, that doesn't make any sense, building a whole car around a platform. But that was my thinking, because I know that for me, I'm not using bull bars and scrub bars and whatever. I spent the money that I wanted to, and the money that I had, I spent it on this platform because I knew that I'd be able to put my light bar on here. So I didn't need a bull bar for my lights. I knew I'd be able to put my camping lights on here. I knew I'd be able to put my solar panel on there as well. And it just gives me that extra bit of storage that I just don't have for things like my swag on the inside of the car. And having the sport rails is, you know, yeah, it's good. And if I was only going to be doing, say, a rooftop tent, I would just put some crossbars on it and put a rooftop tent on. I wouldn't bother with, you know, this as well. So for me, yeah, it gives me that extra storage, but not only that, it gives me the extra utility of being able to have things like lights and being able to run my electrics all the way up to this, so I'll be able to use my solar panels and that as well. So like I said, you know, these platforms, they get a little bit of bad press, but you know, for me and my purposes and the weight that I'm carrying for this vehicle, this has been so good, and I've really enjoyed using it, and it's just so easy. I just roll up to camp, I flick my lights on, you know, I've got my solar panel that I can just plug in, I'm good to go. I've got my light bar that's been really solid on these brackets that I've got. I've used my max tracks, I've taken them off the bracket that I've got on there as well, and it's super easy for me just to get up there and just, you know, do what I need to do. And, you know, it costs me very little money to be able to do this, you know. A lot of people, you know, to get extra storage like that might have to spend a little bit more money if they wanted to get a different brand of rack, or they wanted to, you know, have a camper trailer or something that they could put all their gear onto. So for me, it just keeps all of my stuff together on the one vehicle, and it's just really clean and tidy. And I know that all my stuff is on here pretty much all the time, and I don't need to stuff around with things like charging up lights and putting them around the campsite. It's all ready to go. It's all locked onto there. You know, my max track's nice and secure on my roof with a lock, and you know, so for me, using this platform has been an absolute game changer. People love to say that things are game changers, but for me, just this rack has been absolutely awesome for me so far. So, I can't really comment on things like people's other experiences with them falling off their roofs and that because they were overloaded, and all these sneaky values and stuff that people have been saying that Rhino rack has, where can only carry a certain kilos and that. Yeah, compared to other companies, it probably doesn't carry as much as, say, something like a front runner, but it still carries enough for me. Like, I don't need to carry any more than 60 kilos at all. And if I'm starting to carry that much, then I'll probably start looking at something like a camper trailer anyway, because carrying more than 60 kilos on the roof is probably going to affect your off-road performance quite a lot. So you should probably, if you're going to be taking more than or adding more than 60 kilos on your roof, then either you're touring and you're not really on the the really rough stuff, and you're not getting much articulation because it's going to be dangerous, or at that point you should probably just get a camper trailer anyway, because it's not really that good to have all your weight up that high. As well as weight, you're going to be dealing with things like aerodynamic issues, so you'll be losing a few liters per 100 kilometers on the wind hitting the stuff that you've got on your roof rack. But for my roof rack, it's really slimline. It's really streamlined. I haven't actually noticed any decrease in terms of fuel economy, because I've tried to keep everything really low, really streamlined, and so far it's worked really well. So that just about covers my Rhino rack platform review after 10,000 kilometers. So I will do another review probably in another 10,000 kilometers. And if there was something that I missed and there was something you wanted to know about this product, please put in the comment section. I'm more than happy to reply. I reply to every comment that I get, and I actually encourage it because I end up learning a lot more about this hobby that we all have. It's great. So make sure, guys, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. And thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, because then other people can see it as well. Gives them more of a chance to that'll pop up in their news feed and in their YouTube feed. So yeah, and that way we can all share this great hobby together. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.